All right, all that talking and I was muted. Sorry about that. Welcome, guys. So excited to have you here for another episode of the Coffee Chat with myself, Solandia Hammond, aka Sueham, baby. It is June 26th. We're almost halfway through the year. It's almost Christmas. And listen, we still have an opportunity to make some things pop before we get into 2026. Don't count yourself out. We can still make it do what it do. On this episode today, I am solo. We will have episodes where there are guests. Most times there are guests, but there will be some solo episodes where I just want to share some updates with you. And in this episode, we're going to talk about a bank versus a broker and why buying a home right now is still a great opportunity, whether it's for your primary, for your living, and an investment property, or a second home. I am hoping that you guys can hear me well. If you are watching now, let me know that you can hear me, and we will get started. But before I go into my spiel about the difference between bank and brokers, mortgage broker, which I am, who really gets you the best deal and all that good stuff and why it's a great time to buy, I want to share with you a video this morning. I found it before coming on the broadcast, and I thought it was just so appropriate to share. It's how I feel when I'm able to help people who think that they cannot get into homes actually get into homes. And so check out this video right here.
Oh my God, it's huge! I thought it was going to be a little ice cream store. Oh my God, it's beautiful! Look at that! Oh, Ty! Oh, it's so hard. And I can just see to work so hard for. It's like a dream. Years and years ago, when I was working so hard as a single mom, I worked more than one job. I worked 2 jobs, I worked 3 jobs, I did whatever I could. And the way we would celebrate each week that I got through is I would take her for ice cream in Hollywood. We lived near Hollywood, and we would go for ice cream, and we would sit in the car and talk about what we wanted out of life and where we wanted to go and how we wanted to live and her dreams, and try to inspire her to be focused. And that ice cream was so special for us. Wherever I go in the world, I see ice cream and it makes people happy. It makes people calm. Moments together, having those ice cream treats, sitting in the car on Hollywood Boulevard, people watching and dreaming and sharing everything. And now this.
It's crazy, Mama, because even when I look at everything, I'm like, I can't believe this is real. You know, yeah, it's my dream and my vision, but it's more than what I dreamed.
She always loved ice cream. She's always been obsessed with ice cream. And so have I. This is far beyond what I ever thought. I thought I was coming to a little ice cream shop.
And Mama, you know this is dedicated to you. It's dedicated to you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. I'm so happy for you.
For us, Mama.
Wow. Isn't that something? That was amazing to me. I just wanted to share that with you guys, that if you have a dream, whether it's a dream to start a business, to finish college, to be a better person, whether it's to get a home, it is still achievable. So don't think that just because it is July, almost July, that you can't achieve the things that you set your heart's desire for in 2025. All right. So let's get into this. I'm going to ask you guys to share the videos. If you have any questions, you can post them. I'll answer them, whether it's live or if you're catching this on the replay, I'll still answer it expeditiously. So banker versus a mortgage broker like myself. Now, let me just say this. I'm not knocking banks or mortgage companies. I'm just simply telling you the truth. And the truth is that most banks and most mortgage companies can only offer you 1 to 5 to 6 different products, right? They have what they have. They have their interest rates, they have their programs. There's no flexibility on it whatsoever. A bank officer, loan officer works for that bank. And that means, again, they can only offer certain things. There are limited options. It's usually a lot more red tape. Usually takes a lot longer to process, usually a lot less communication. I can't even begin to tell you the people that I've helped who say that when working with banks or mortgage companies or these big box lenders online, that the communication just is not there. So, and for a lot of people, that's very important. They're not hearing from them for 2-3 weeks, or they're being passed off to 3 or 4 different people, and they really don't know who to contact when there is an issue or they have a question or they have a concern. Also, they offer less flexibility. So here's the thing. If they say the credit score needs to be this, credit score needs to be this. If the DTI is this, then the DTI is that. There is really no bending to fit the mold for you. So as a mortgage broker, here's where I differ. I understand that everybody's scenario and situation is different. Good morning, Carolyn. Good morning, Trina. I understand that everybody's scenario and everybody's situation is different. So I am blessed to work for myself here with Loans with Sueham, and I'm powered by Edge Home Finance. NMLS number is 2519087. And I'm blessed to be afforded to have access to over 150 different lenders with thousands of programs. So what does that mean for you if you are home shopping or you're looking for an investment property? That means that more often than not, I have a product that will fit your scenario. Self-employed borrowers, we have bank statement loans, we have 1099 loans, we have I-10 loans, we have commercial loans. We have products for people who most people think that they got to have a pristine credit score of a 700 or more. Well, here's the truth to that. Not when dealing with me as your mortgage broker. Now, again, everyone's scenario is different because it's more than just a score. We're looking at the whole picture, everything that's going on with you, the money that you have in the bank, how long you've been on your job, either how long you've had a business or how much money you have coming in. We're also looking at if you have any assets, any other real estate owned. So all of that stuff we take into consideration. We look at how many times you've been late in the last 12 months. And I can tell you, I'm a veteran, Marine veteran, and I always will say, and I always will stick up, that the VA loan is the best thing smoking. It is the less stringent loan on the market. We have been able to help veterans that have a score of a 550. Okay. I don't know any bank that's doing that. I don't know any mortgage company that's doing that. And I'm excited about that. Like I said, being a fellow veteran, being able to help have programs like that to be able to help veterans. And more importantly, I've just been introduced to this amazing new program. Program's only 7 months old, and it's a lease to own program. And we're doing a webinar on that tonight. And I'll tell you, if you're interested in that, you definitely got to sign up. It's a free webinar online tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can register for that webinar at sueham.webinars.com, sueham.webinars.com. I'm doing that webinar with Realtor Maggie Cooper. But this lease to own program, I just got an approval in last night at 12:52 a.m. 12:52 a.m. Now, I didn't see it because I was asleep. But when I woke up this morning at 5 a.m., there it was, that we have an approval for our lease to own program. And that program is amazing for people who need a higher DTI because it'll go up to 60% debt to income ratio. If you have been paying your rent on time, it's a rewarder for you. It's got a lot of great things for it. We can also use your bank statements, your income that goes into your bank for your bank statements. If you've been on your job less than 12 months, less than 2 years, we can do that. It's a lot of great things that we can do with this lease to own program. So if you want to be there, definitely go ahead and register at sueham.webinars.com. It is tonight, June 26, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. That's just the tip of the iceberg of some of the programs that we can offer as a mortgage broker. As a mortgage broker, I have programs with USDA loans with a credit score that goes down to at least 600 scores. 600 scores, whereas in most banks or most mortgage companies want you to have a 640 or a 660. So now, and I will say this, when dealing with lower scores, yes, you may have to take on a little higher interest rate, but here's the great thing about that, because we're going to segue into interest rates. You can always refinance when the rates drop. Rates are going to drop. They go up and they go down. You just need to decide if you want to get in, stick around and do that. So also, as a broker, I have access. I think one of the biggest things I love is, like I said, multiple different lenders, multiple different scenarios, multiple different loan programs. So typically, most times we have something that can accommodate your scenario, and you will get my personalized attention. You will get effective communication with me, and more often than not, our rates are typically lower. All right. So for anyone who's been wondering, like, what is the difference between a bank mortgage company and a mortgage broker? I hope I have broken that down for you. If you still need more clarification, I'll be more than happy to get on a one-on-one call. You can always book a session with me, a free session at consultwithsueham.com, or go to the website that you see on the screen, loanswithsueham.com, and just schedule a free consultation and we can talk about that. All right. So why do I feel it's always a good time to buy? I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's, in my opinion, it's always a good time to buy. I'm a real estate investor as well. Buy houses, I fix them and I sell them. I buy houses, I fix them and I rent them out. And I always feel like it's a great time to buy if you buy right, because if you're buying right and you know your numbers, it's never not a good time to buy, in my opinion. But at this point in time, this is a buyer's market. Right now, buyers can negotiate really, really well in getting closing costs paid by sellers, because you are in a position to where sellers are ready to get off those houses. And so if you can qualify and you can buy that house, you are in a position to negotiate closing costs, to get some help with that. That's a great reason to buy. And I know some of you are concerned about those interest rates, but if you plan on being in that house for a little while, right? And maybe you can, or maybe you're going to leave, I don't know, after 3-5 years, maybe you want to consider an adjustable rate mortgage. Yes, I know we hear adjustable, we hear it's going to go up and down, it's going to go up and down. And that is true should you stay in that mortgage. However, if you go into it where the rate is fixed for 3 years, or it's fixed for 5 years, or it's fixed for 7 years, at least you have a steady fixed interest rate that's typically lower, and you can refinance it before that fixed rate time period ends. So if you're going in and if you want a fixed interest rate, right, and it's right now currently 7%, hypothetically speaking, but the adjustable rate is giving you 5% for the next 3 years, it may be a good option to go in and get the adjustable rate at the 5% for the next 3 years. And then before that 3 years ends, you can go back in and refinance if the rates are lower at that time. So that's one way to beat it. Another way to beat the rates, is buy down. You can do a permanent buy down. So if you're getting sellers to help you with the closing costs, you can use some of that closing cost to actually buy down your rate. So if you're coming in at a 7%, or you're coming in at a 6%, and you've got extra money from seller concessions because they're helping you with closing costs, you could perhaps use some of that money to buy down the rate, maybe to a point lower, a half a point lower, if rates are a big thing for you. But I want to say this. I've always said it's better to get in now and to readjust later because home prices are not going down. There was and I was looking for it on my Facebook page. I wish I had it to put it up to show you guys, but there's a gentleman who put up a post. He said in 2012, he could have gotten a property for $140,000 in Charleston, South Carolina. He put that post up. And he put up the post where June 9th, that home sold for almost $1 million. Now, I want you to think about that. That's what, 13 years? In 2012, he had the opportunity to buy that property for $140,000. I don't know what happened, why he didn't buy it, but he was very transparent in putting it out there that the opportunity was there in 2012 to buy the property for $140,000. And here it is, June 9th, 2025, 13 years later, that home sold for nearly $1 million. So do you understand why I say now is a great time to buy? Because homes are appreciating. And if you go back and you look over the journey of real estate, more often than not, homes continue to appreciate. Even when there was a little dip in 2008 because of the mortgage crisis, guess what? It rebounded. So it's a wealth builder. When you go and you do the research, many people say that home ownership is what opens the doors for wealth or financial freedom. So again, I think it's always a great time to buy if you can afford the payment, if it's within your budget, and if you buy right, it's always a great time to buy. You can always go back and adjust. Long as you're making those payments on time, your credit is good to go. You can always go back and adjust and refinance. Or maybe you may sell the home and move into a bigger home. It's completely up to you. There's so many different exit strategies that you can implement to get into a better situation. I am a big proponent of getting into another home, putting that first home up for rent. I know a lot of you want to start out buying a mansion, but I'm all about buying a starter home. Get into a home, that you can afford and start with right now and let it build appreciation while you're building down that equity. Maybe a year from now, maybe 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you decide to move into a bigger home. Now you keep that home and you rent it out. Now you become an investor. You own two homes. One is a rental, one is your primary. And guess what? If you decide you wanted to sell that home after 2 years, if you lived in that home for 2 years, you can sell that home. And if you're single, the first $250,000 profit is non-taxable. If you're married and you make a $500 gain from that property from selling it, then the first $500 is a non-taxable event. And if you're wondering why you see some people moving every 2 or 3 years, that's why, because they're buying in the right areas where the homes are appreciating and they're making a bag every 2 to 5 years by moving and selling that property. All right. Now, if you're renting, I don't knock that. I don't knock that at all. If that's what you want to do, but I just want to point something out to you. You don't have to rent if that's not what you want to do. Just if you take $1,800 a month rent and you multiply that by 12, that's $18,000. If you take $18,000 a year that you're giving your landlord and multiply that by 30 years, that's $540,000. You have no equity. You have nothing vested in that property other than helping the landlord to pay down the mortgage if they have one, or just getting richer. With the lease to own program that we're talking about tonight at 7:30 p.m., that stops all that. You actually are leasing a property that you can own, that you are building equity in, that you would be able to, if you wanted to walk away and sell it, if there is equity, a profit, you would put it in your pockets. Tell me, where can you go and rent that would allow you to do that if you pick up and move? Let's just say you've been living there 10 years, right? You've been paying that rent faithfully for 10 years at $18,000 a year, which breaks down to $1,500 a month. So 10 years, that's $180,000. You could have bought a $180,000 starter house, right, by that time. But you just decide, hey, I'm going to pick up and leave. I'm going to go somewhere else, and I'm renting somewhere else. 10 years, you paid $180,000 into that landlord's pocket, and you have nothing to recoup. Why do that when there are options out there like the lease to own program that will allow you to accrue equity in the property that you have. Want to learn more about that? Join us tonight at 7:30 p.m. Tonight. Register sueham.webinars.com. All right. So I know I kind of covered that pretty quickly, really in about 20 minutes. I think I covered that. The differences between a broker and a banker, and why I think that right now is the right time to buy regardless of the interest rates. If you can afford it, get into it. Homes are appreciating. I cannot even begin to tell you that enough. You can go and research articles where homes are appreciating anywhere between $25,000 a year to $100,000 a year, depending on the area that you live in. So what am I saying? I don't know any investment that I get to live in. I get to live in and enjoy, and it's increasing my net worth to the point where if I want to sell my home, I make a profit. If I want to refinance my home, I can pull money out of it to pay off high credit card debt, to pay off a high interest rate on a car loan, to send someone to college, to start a new business, to buy an investment home so that I'm making even more money, or to buy a vacation home. I don't know of any other vehicle that will afford me that opportunity. And hence the reason why for years I've been really big on people owning their own homes. So I just wanted to drop this little nuggets for you guys today. I hope that you have found it to be very helpful. If you have, comment below. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you found it to be very, very helpful. I would like that. If you need more information on this, I would be more than willing to have a 15-minute telephone consultation with you free of charge. You can simply go to the website you see on the screen, loanswithsueham.com. We are here on Thursdays with coffee chat with guests, and then also with me dropping nuggets about the programs we have and just giving some financial insight. I would like to invite you guys, for any of you that have teenagers or you yourself, and you're looking for more information with regards to financial literacy, I would like to invite you guys to check out my website. Go to loanswithsueham.com and click on the financial literacy tab, and you will be able to access a lot of free information regarding financial literacy. So, would love for you guys to check that out. Let's get this off the screen. Carolyn said, yes, very helpful info. Thank you so much, Carolyn. For those of you that are watching live and maybe on the replay, please share the video with people. And I'll see you next Thursday for another episode of Coffee Chat. Be blessed, y'all.